Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to throw on the robes of a cynical scholar for a bit and look into this deeply fascinating failure inside a cosmic mechanism known as the Sapphire Forge. So let's just dive right into this dark mythological adventure. It's kind of like a grimdark Gothic fable. We're going to explore this really profound philosophical clash between geometric symmetry on one hand and kinetic hope on the other, all through the lens of a highly unusual anomaly in a system that was literally designed for absolute soul decay. So, to really wrap our heads around this anomaly, we first need to picture the sheer industrial finality of the Sapphire Forge. Imagine this infinite, flawless expanse that is meticulously designed for absolute stillness. The text actually describes it perfectly as a grid of silent blue stars. I mean, there is zero room for error here. It's this sterile, cosmic machine built purely to erase all the messy, chaotic suffering of existence, basically turning complex lives into this peaceful, detached emptiness. Right, so this absolute zero is what we call geometric symmetry. Think of it as a mathematically perfect state where all the kinetic noise, all that emotional turbulence, and literally all the suffering of a soul has been cleanly converted into nothingness. It's the ultimate cosmic peace, sure, but it's a peace achieved through total erasure. Section 1. The Arithmetic of the Void, Accounting for the Soul. Let's look at the mechanical duty of our protagonist here, a cosmic accountant known as the Jester. Now, the Jester's whole job is to oversee the void ledger. He has to ensure every agonizing story and lived experience is accurately accounted for so it reaches that geometric symmetry. But, well, our case study starts with a massive error in his zero-point matrix. There's this incredibly stubborn, totally unaccounted for item in the ledger, a violet anomaly that produces all this kinetic noise and completely mocks our scholar's neat, flawless arithmetic. Section 2. The Violet Chromatic Dissonance, the aporia of the ledger. So this anomaly actually manifests as a gem, specifically the color violet, from the Latin viola. And it presents this intensely jarring chromatic dissonance against those pristine, silent blue stars we were talking about earlier. On one side of things, we've got the Jester's quest for cold, industrial finality, and it is violently clashing with the chaotic kinetic hope and sovereign defiance of this mysterious violet gem on the right. Now, you might be thinking, hope is a good thing, right? Well, to a cynical scholar of the Forge, hope is absolutely not a virtue. Actually, it's a structural flaw. As the text lays out, hope is merely a thermodynamic inefficiency. It's just a stubborn narrative inertia that totally refuses to be successfully converted into nothingness. The Jester basically looks at hope the exact same way a programmer looks at a persistent, annoying bug in a system. So how exactly does a cosmic accountant fix a bug like this? Well, by applying focused cold plasma, the Jester initiates a process of thermal volatilization. But get this, he doesn't do this to destroy the gem, but to decipher it. He's trying to figure out the sovereign deed that's hidden inside it. He literally has to confront the ledger's aporia, which is basically an unsolvable philosophical puzzle where the void's arithmetic just utterly and completely fails. Section 3. Descent into Dionysian Chaos. The Desolate Topos. To track down the owner of this kinetic noise, the Jester has to do the unthinkable. I mean, he literally has to abandon his pristine forge and travel backward on what's essentially an inverted hero's journey. This takes our Jester far away from the perfection of the stars, plunging him all the way down to a crumbling, desolate peak. And this mountain serves as the philological topos, or the foundational setting, for what Nietzsche called Dionysian chaos. We're talking the raw, bloody, unfiltered reality of existence here. Down on this dark mountain, which is ruled by this ancient monolithic force of darkness, souls aren't just neat little line items in a ledger anymore. No way. They're a chaotic, suffering mass. This is absolute ground zero for psychological decay, a totally grimdark realm observed with chilling aesthetic detachment by the forces ruling it. Honestly, the Jester is completely out of his element here. Section 4. The Inverted Kenosis. Tracing the fleshly bridge. Okay, so an absolutely crucial point here is understanding this concept of kenosis. Normally, the Jester oversees kenosis as a way to empty a soul of its concentrated sorrow, to achieve that peaceful, geometric symmetry we talked about. But surrounded by all this intense suffering, the jester has to perform an inverted kenosis. Instead of emptying the sorrow, he has to dig deep into the residual vibration of the violet gem just to find the ousia, the very essence of the one known as the Violet Knight. And what he finds is just astonishing. Down in this realm of pure being, he discovers that broken vows and failed destinies haven't been erased or zeroed out at all. Instead, they act as a fleshly bridge, burning relentlessly as raw kinetic energy. The pain hasn't been pacified, it has literally been weaponized into a fierce force of will. Section 5. This Sovereign at the Throne. The Final Arithmetic. The jester finally tracks this agonizing evolution all the way back to its source, the vacant throne. And sitting right at this throne is the owner of the violet gem, the Sovereign. This figure wields a violet gavel that strikes with the brutal, totally inescapable force of a hydraulic press. I mean, this isn't the quiet, silent blue of the Forge anymore. This is raw, heavy, earth-shattering power. To the Void, the Sovereign is pretty much the ultimate failed story. And why is that? Because their kinetic noise was just never accurately accounted for. They completely defied the zero-point matrix. They rejected the thermal volatilization of their identity, choosing instead to survive and stand there completely defiant. They held on to their messy, chaotic humanity rather than just rolling over and accepting peaceful erasure. Section 6. Hope in Eternal Return, the Nietzschean Subversion. And here we arrive at the really profound Nietzschean subversion at the core of this dark fable. See, the jester fully expects souls to eventually just beg for the mercy of nothingness to escape their pain. But this Sovereign, instead they embrace the eternal return, that concept of living through your pain and your triumphs over and over again for all eternity. And by embracing this eternal return, the Sovereign creates a cyclical pause. This is exactly how eternal return actually creates hope within the void. It harnesses the repetition of the struggle itself into this fierce, kinetic energy that stops the absolute zero right in its tracks. Zero! That is exactly what the Forge demands. But by flat-out refusing to be reduced to zero, the Sovereign proves this massive philosophical point. Some stories are perfectly finished not by mathematical reduction, and definitely not by erasing the pain, but through an agonizing evolution that defies the void entirely. The Sovereign's sheer defiance completely shatters the jester's mechanical duty. And so, this incredible kinetic hope completely transforms the Sovereign. They aren't just some glitch in the matrix anymore. They evolve into a savage, new purpose that haunts the psychological ruins. The jester's flawless, cold ledger, it's turned into a complete cosmic joke, utterly upended by a sheer will to power that insists on existing, no matter how much it hurts. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to take a look at the thermodynamic inefficiencies in your own ledger. Think about it. When your own broken vows and past failures burn as kinetic energy, what are you going to do? Are you going to surrender to the absolute stillness and just accept the mercy of nothingness? Or are you going to embrace the eternal return and forge a savage, new purpose out of your very own agonizing evolution? Thank you so much for exploring the dark arithmetic of the void with us today. Keep questioning the ledger.